was 17, I ran away from home and from everything I had ever known.
I was sick and tired, living in a town filled with narrow minds and hate.
They used to laugh at me, their children called me names. I would run and hide, feeling so ashamed.
Just for being born, I was just a boy, punished for a crime that was not mine. Life ain't so easy.
Hello, hello, hello. And thank you so much for tuning in to A Spoonful of Comfort. I am Claudrine Jackson, your host for A Spoonful of Comfort, to remind you and me that in these dark days in society that we can give comfort to each other. I appreciate the privilege of your time. It's an honor for me to be able to speak to you every Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 1:30 here at WHPR TV in Highland Park. I thank R.J. Watkins and Henry Tyler for having kept this station going and making a success of it and giving those of us in the community voice. And, you know, I talk about giving comfort to people. Well, this was my weekend of discomfort because my car was stolen. And if you've seen the show before, I mentioned that turning 80 in June, I was in an accident the day before my 80th birthday, and that car was totaled. So now I had a new car, and it got stolen. And the app on my phone, it was a new car, so there was an app on my phone to locate the car. And we located it yesterday. So when I called the police department and told them the car had been located, they told me to go to where the car was and wait for the police. Well, I waited for about 3 hours, from 5 to a little after 8. And I said, here I am babysitting my car. They had taken the wheels off and had the tires and the wheels and broken the window. And there was nothing, it couldn't be driven away. There was nothing that could be done with it. But when something happens unexpected that you don't want to have happened, this is when you need comfort. So I had to go to my scriptures, the ones that give me comfort, and read them. He giveth power to the weak, and to them that have no might, he increases strength. Because that's how I was feeling, weak and with no might. And he restores my soul. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be ye not conformed to the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And they that wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings like an eagle. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Well, I'm not on wings, but I am walking without fainting. And I thank the Lord that he does restore us. He does walk with us when we're going through something. Everything that happened could have been worse. The accident in June could have been worse. It could have, the situation with my car getting stolen could have been worse. So, you know, I'm saying that we need comfort when we're going through something. So I had to comfort myself while I'm going through what I was going through, because I didn't get much comfort from the police department. And sitting there at the park, babysitting the car, waiting for them to show up, it was hot out there. I was with another friend, but we sat there for hours waiting for them. But they did pick up the car either last night or this morning. So hopefully the situation will be resolved. But to those of you that do things like stealing, there is the law of the universe called karma, which means that what you put out into the universe is what you get back from the universe. So if you're putting a lot of negative energy into the universe, you can change. You can change at any moment. You can stop putting the negative energy out and improve your karma, because karma is a law just like gravity. You get back what you put out. So, hadn't planned on getting my car stolen, and hadn't planned on having to deal with the police department and the insurance company and all the red tape that you have to go through in a situation like that. But I did manage to somewhat pull myself together. Ain't saying I'm all that together, because we know that there are times in life when trials and tribulations get us down. But if we can put one foot in front of the other and keep on moving, the Lord is there to help us. And I had mentioned to you that I am a deacon at New Mount Vernon Missionary Baptist Church, which is located on Ithaca and Pasadena in Ferndale, Michigan. Now that's a block north of 8 Mile and a block west of Wyoming. So New Mount Vernon Baptist Church, we had our anniversary celebration for our pastor, Pastor Jeremy Mosley, who is a young, dedicated, talented pastor, and he's officially been our pastor for a year. So we had the anniversary celebration for him, and it was at Burton Manor, and it was a beautiful celebration. And I got to talk to Reverend Edgar Van, Bishop Van, Edgar Van. Now, he is so well known in the city that I'm sure that you know who Edgar Van is. And I was able to thank him for all the times that I listened to him on Sunday morning radio, and he uplifted me and encouraged me, because there were times when, because of my son's handicap, I was very despondent and downhearted. And it was great to have someone on the radio speaking words of uplifting and encouragement to help me feel better. So I was able to thank him for all the uplifting and encouragement that he had done for me down through the years. So everyone needs a word of uplifting and encouragement occasionally. So can you be that one? Can you be the one to give someone uplift and encouragement? And the weekend was supposed to have been a happy weekend, because my song Almost is finally released. I'd been telling you about my poem that I wrote, Almost, that my husband Purvis sang, and he sang it with a reggae beat, and that it was coming out. So there's a young bass singer named Trey Cruz. Purvis was mentoring Trey Cruz when he passed away. Trey Cruz wanted to add something from Purvis to his album as a tribute to Purvis. So I sent him some of Purvis's original material, and the song that he picked to put on his album happened to be one that was written by me, called Almost. So the song is out now. If you go to Trey, T-R-E, Cruz, C-R-U-Z, if you go to TreyCruz.com and click on Almost, you can hear the song that's finally out. Now, since the song was done 25 years ago by Purvis, the music might not be as clear as new music. Someone mentioned that to me. But as their tribute to Purvis, they wanted to use Purvis's original singing and add their voice to it. So that's what they did. They used Purvis's original song and they added their voice. And I'm so proud that they finished what Purvis started. They finished what Purvis started 25 years ago. So you just never know when. I say it's a miracle happening, because Purvis has been gone. Sunday was 11 years since he passed away. And he's been gone for 11 years, and now he has a song out, a song that I wrote. So I say God is still working miracles in the world. So if you can go to Trey, T-R-E, Cruz, C-R-U-Z, TreyCruz.com, it'll come up and you can click on Almost. You can also hear the songs that Trey, the other songs on his album. And they also have a video about making the album and about Purvis, and it's on there. They're calling that the story of Purvis Jackson. So I know that Purvis is smiling down on us, and I'm very, very excited to have a song out, finally. And it's called Almost. And the words are, I almost had some money because I almost won. I almost missed the rainstorm. I almost saw the sun. I almost saw my ship come in, but it was not my time. I even almost had a love, and he was almost mine. I almost thought that I could smile. I almost stopped my crying. I almost said, well, I give up. I'm sick of all this trying. Well, almost is so far away, and almost is so near that I can almost touch it. My day is almost here. So almost is not almost anymore. It's actually been released. So hopefully you can go to TreyCruz.com and click on Almost. So I want to share another one of my poems with you called Will There Be a Happy Ending? And it's in my book, Inspired by Autism, and it's also in my book, Let There Be Light. Will there be a happy ending when all of this is through? Or will I wish I had given up and found something else to do? Will there be a happy ending? Will I laugh instead of cry? Will I turn lemons into lemonade? Can I make it if I try? There springs the hope eternal that things will turn out right. Please don't confuse me with the facts, 'cause then I'll lose the fight. One day I'll say it's worth it all, the troubles I have seen. Or do I have the wrong perspective? Am I allowed to dream? Will I find the pot of gold? Does the rainbow follow rain? Or will I open up my eyes to see that optimism was in vain? Well, I know the happy ever after only comes in fairy tales, but I can't shake the feeling that all will turn out well. So you may think that I'm a fool, but I must stop pretending. I can't accept the doom and gloom. I'll have my happy ending. I'm going to take a short break. That's my poem of faith. Please stick with me for a spoonful of comfort.
When I was 17, I ran away from home and from everything I had ever known.
I was sick and tired, living in a town filled with narrow minds and hate.
They used to laugh at me, their children called me names. I would run and hide, feeling so ashamed.
Just for being born, I was just a boy, punished for a crime that was not mine. Life ain't so easy when
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
This is Claudine Jackson. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Tuesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
All media platforms are engaged. Copy.
Get ready to launch your show or product.
Periscope ready. We're 5x5 ready to launch. Copy that.
Trend worldwide across all major platforms.
Ignition. 3,
2, 1.
The world is waiting. Watkins Broadcasting. More than just TV.
When I was 17, I ran away from home and from everything I had ever known.
I was sick and tired, living in a town filled with narrow minds and hate.
They used to laugh at me, their children called me names. I would run and hide, feeling so ashamed.
Just for being born, I was just a boy, punished for a crime that was not mine. Life ain't so easy when
I wanted to tell you about my trip that I went on this year. I went on a trip, a cruise to Mexico. And when you get out and see the world and see the beautiful things that God has created, you see God's fingerprints. There is beauty in the world that couldn't have been created by anybody but God. Like when you're on a cruise and you're out there in all that water. Who put all that water there? What can man do with that water except build a ship to cross it? God has created so many beautiful things in the world for us to enjoy. He made the world a beautiful place, and I hope you can get out and see some of the beauty, because I have seen the power and the glory and the beauty of the Lord, which you can too. If you go to Niagara Falls, you see his power. Grand Canyon, you see the beauty and the glory of the Lord. Get to the oceans and see everything that God has created. So he made a beautiful world for us. And sometimes we don't stop and look at all the beauty that God has created. Even the sun coming up in the morning is beautiful. The sun going down in the evening is beautiful. Another creation of God. So while I was on the cruise, we went to the Mayan ruins in Mexico. And the Mayans were the first settlers in Mexico. And they were the ones that discovered chocolate. So during a tour, we saw how the Mayans discovered the cocoa bean and how the very first chocolate was made. They made us some. We also saw how they make corn tortillas. And we saw how the Mayans made buildings, and they did a lot of observing of the sun and the moon and the stars. And some of the things that they came up with way back then are still being used now, such as the Mayans are the ones that discovered that June 21st was the longest day of the year and that December 21st was the shortest day of the year. And we still use those as the first day of summer and the first day of winter. So they were very, very brilliant people. But then when the Spaniards came and somewhat conquered them and took over, things changed. But the Mayan history was very, very interesting. But we had a little problem there, because when you're on a cruise ship, if you go on a tour sponsored by the cruise ship and something goes wrong, then the ship waits for you. But we were on a tour that we had set up ourselves. And so we go tour the Mayan ruins, and then we go to get back on our bus. Well, the bus wouldn't start. So here we are in the Mayan ruins in Mexico, not knowing if we're going to get back to the ship in time. But it was a good tour company, and they sent another bus, and we got back to the ship in time. But I thought, you talk about missing the boat, that would really be missing the boat, because the captain tells you before you go ashore that if you don't get back in by sailing time that you will get a very good picture of the ship sailing away. That's a picture I didn't want, but we were blessed to get back to the ship in time. So that's one of the things that you don't expect to happen. Like I say, in life, so many things happen that you don't expect to happen, that they say if you worry, the things that you worry about probably aren't going to happen. And the things that happen, you wouldn't have known it was going to happen to worry about it anyhow. So not getting back to the ship in time wasn't anything that I had worried about. Getting my car stolen wasn't anything I had worried about. But life is a series of things that you might not know that's going to happen. And he makes the sun to shine on the just and the unjust, and he bringeth rain both on the evil and the good. So everything is going to happen to you during your lifetime. Nobody's going to have all sunshine, and nobody's going to have all rain. And I want to share a couple of words from a couple of gospel songs that have also helped me. Like, the Lord will make a way somehow. Like a ship that's tossed and driven and battered by an angry sea, when the storms of life are raging and the fury falls on me. And I wonder just what I have done that makes my race so hard to run. Then I say to my soul, don't worry, the Lord will make a way somehow. The Lord will make a way somehow. He has made a way for me many times when I thought, well, Lord, I know you can't solve this problem. And the Lord has said, well, watch me, and the problem has been solved. So here's this old gospel song, How I Got Over. My soul looks back and wonders how I got over. Well, my soul does not look back and wonder how I got over. My soul knows how I got over. I got over through the grace of God, through his grace and his mercy and his blessing. And I have reached the age where a lot of people are not in the physical or mental shape that I'm in, including some members of my own family. So I am so thankful to God that he has blessed me to be able to speak to you. And it's a privilege and an honor. And another gospel, some of the words to a gospel song that I want to share with you is, what a friend we have in Jesus, all our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. All because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. So this show is called A Spoonful of Comfort, and I'm sharing with you some of my comfort that I've gotten from the Bible, from gospel songs. What about Precious Lord? Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I get tired, I get weak, I get worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Precious Lord, take my hand and lead me on. And I don't get weary. The older I get, it seems like the less weary I get instead of the more weary I get. And I think, I know it's because of God's blessing and God's grace. And another gospel song that helps me is, I can't believe he brought me this far to leave me. I can't believe he brought me this far to leave me. And he didn't bring me this far to leave me. He's still with me. Whatever age I am, he is still with me. Going up the rough side of the mountain. I'm going up the rough side of the mountain. I must hold to God's unchanging hand. I'm going up the rough side of the mountain. I'm doing my best to make it in. So if you feel like you're going up the rough side of the mountain, suppose you're going up the smooth side. If you're going up the smooth side, one false step and you're back down to the bottom. So maybe there's a reason for the rough side of the mountain. But there was another gospel song that I wanted to share with you, which I can't think of right now, but I'll share with you a poem that I did not write. This is another poem that has inspired me. God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God walks beside me, guides my way through every moment of the day. I now am wise, I now am true, faithful, kind, and loving too. God is my health, I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing, quick. God is my all, I know no fear, since God and love and truth are here. And if you focus on the positive scriptures and the positive songs, because a lot of our gospel songs are based on scriptures. I remember when I was a little girl, Mahalia Jackson, which you young people won't know about Mahalia Jackson, she had a gospel song about they that wait on the Lord that shall renew their strength. And if I could sing, I would sing it for you because it uplifted me many a time. But between the Bible, scriptures in the Bible, and the gospel songs, that's where we get our comfort. And there's always comfort in the middle of the night. If you're depressed and downhearted, you can open your Bible or you can listen to a gospel song. You can always get inspired and uplifted. If you have faith as a mustard seed, all things will be added unto you. Now, I admit there were plenty of times I did not have, or I did have faith, but it was like a mustard seed. But faith is not only evidence of things that we can't see. You know, you walk by faith and not by sight. So faith is not only evidence of the things that we can't see. Faith is our shield against every burning missile that the enemy throws at us. I can't remember exactly what scripture that is, but faith is our shield against every burning missile that the enemy throws at us. And sometimes it's very hard to have faith. I know that you might be going through something that makes it hard to have faith, but you go through something to get to something. So whatever it is that you're going through, you will come out of. You can change. Behold, I do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. So you can always change your mind and change your life. Thank you so much for tuning in to A Spoonful of Comfort. I will be hoping to speak with you next Tuesday at 1:30 right here on WHPR.
When I was 17, I ran away from home and from everything I had ever known.
I was sick and tired, living in a town filled with narrow minds and hate.
They used to laugh at me, their children called me names. I would run and hide, feeling so ashamed.
Just for being born, I was just a boy, punished for a crime that was